Diddy has launched a new political party called Our Black Political Party. Had an interview with Charlemagne the God. He had Charlemagne come over to his house to ask him about this new party, Our Black Party. And he talked about what this party stands for. And just in a nutshell, he just went through all the regular things that black folks are calling for as it relates to the black agenda. Equal rights, seat at the table, our just due, reparations, equality, income equality, education, all this stuff is what this party represents. And I will say, I'm a big fan. I'm a fan of Diddy. He took a lot of heat earlier in the year when he said to hold your vote or hold the vote hostage, because everyone felt as though, which this is the truth, that by doing that you're essentially not voting for Biden, or not voting for Biden is a vote for Trump, pretty much. So it was going to split the vote. So everyone felt like that was very detrimental. He has since, in this interview, he spoke on it. He's changed his position on that, realizing the damage perhaps that would do, and that perhaps did. But in addition to supporting Joe Biden, endorsing, that's the term I was looking for. In addition to endorsing Joe Biden, he is now launching a black political party to advance the black agenda. What are my thoughts on this? I'm curious to know your thoughts on this as well. My initial thoughts are, hooray. Feels good to have your own something or another as black folks. And then my mind starts kicking in. I'm like, how realistic is this? While he has the money to actually launch this entity, how much power could it actually have? Well, I think that it's a start. I think that if he realizes it's a long game, that perhaps in a couple of decades, it could perhaps be something that has an impact, then maybe, voting-wise. I think it could definitely have an impact as far as a movement. If a lot of black folks get on board with it and they utilize this umbrella to march and to hold the vote hostage in the future, not this time because we need to go ahead and vote Trump out, but hold the vote hostage to speak out against injustices. I think it could work in that fashion as it relates to just voting in Congress, voting and trying to be elected in states. It's not going to happen. Not going to happen right now. Too much money involved. Too much money in the Democratic Party. Democratic candidates aren't determined by the people. We know that, right? Republican candidates aren't determined by the people. We understand that, right? It's all money. There's caucuses. Democratic caucuses, Republican caucuses, special interest, if you will. There are people with a whole lot of money, a whole lot of influence and power, parts of these small groups or big groups that determine who's in office. And they do that by putting money behind them. There's large corporations, corporate PACs, that put big money behind candidates that further their agenda. So it's going to be very difficult to get a whole new party. Notice the Green Party and all these other independent parties haven't been, they've been there and they're known, but how often do they get actual traction and get elected for anything? So while I think it's a great start, while I'm all for it, while I would be a proud member, I think it'd be great. I just don't see it having a huge political impact as it relates to votes in Congress at this anytime soon. Not at all. It's foolish to even think that. But you have to start somewhere. If you don't start somewhere, you can never get to anywhere, right? So I'm proud that he's starting, and he does identify as an independent at this point, akin to me. I do identify as an independent. I'm very moderate in my views. But yeah, so that was a great interview. Check it out when you get an opportunity. I'm curious to know what you think about this whole thing. But something has to happen. He did speak a whole lot in his interview about violence, the violence that's being perpetrated against black folks, black men and women being killed by the police, Trump inciting his base, the Proud Boys and so forth. And I love that he took a stance on that in saying that, hey, there comes a point where violence has to be an option. And Charlemagne asked him, so what if there's more violence? You know, his base is going to be really riled up if he does not get elected. And his response is classic. Diddy's response is, they get riled up, they get violent, and we eat their arms off. I don't think America's ready for black folks to stand up with violence. I don't think the Proud Boys are ready for it. I don't think the KKK is ready for it. I really don't. And they've not seen it. They've not seen black folks come together in that fashion. They've only seen a lot of us doing it amongst our own communities, amongst ourselves. So we shall see how it goes. Comment below, let me know what you think. Subscribe. Peace out.